Hello family and friends, this is Rob the Sapper Gardener representing Essayons Family Garden, and today we're going to be doing we're going to do a different version of adobo. I mentioned before on our previous video, which I will link up here, that there are different types of adobo: chicken, pork, seafood. There's as many types of adobo as there are islands in the Philippines. So today we're going to do a different combination version using some chicken and some pork belly. So let me give you a quick list of the ingredients, and then we'll do a short video on this. This will be our last video before Christmas, and it may come out on Christmas Day. So if I forget to say it, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas. Happy holidays to those who celebrate other holidays, and for those who don't celebrate at all, we still keep you in our thoughts. So we have already done an adobo video with chicken where we show the marinade ingredients, so we won't show that again. We're just going to link to that video. But we've got some sliced pork belly that we marinated overnight, and we've got some sliced chicken that we marinated earlier today. So this will have been marinating for 3 to 6 hours, and the pork belly overnight. But we're also going to be doing potatoes in here, and we're going to do onions in this one, which we didn't do in the last one. And we're also going to do some boiled eggs, because that's one of the things that my wife likes that I forgot in the chicken adobo. But we're going to boil the eggs, we're going to shell them, and then we're going to add them into the adobo mix later on in the cooking process. So we're going to do a nice saute on the onions and give them a little bit of seasoning before we saute our meats and add in our sauce. So our onions are nice and caramelized, and now we're going to do something else a little different. And we saw a video on one of our friends' channels, Keen Observer USA, and when she did her adobo version, she browned her potatoes. So we're going to try that today and see how these turn out. And we're going to brown our chicken first, and then once we've browned our chicken, we're going to take it out. We're going to brown our pork belly, and then we're going to start combining all the ingredients. So our pork's done, or our chicken's done, so now we're going to brown our pork belly, or liempo as it's called in Tagalog. So our pork is done, so now we're combining everything together. We're going to add back in our adobo marinade, and we're going to add in enough water to cover everything up, and we're going to bring it to a boil and then simmer it until everything comes together. And our potatoes were par-cooked already, so we're not going to wait and add them in the end. We're going to go ahead and add them in. The par cooking should hopefully hold them together. So my wife corrected me, as she does many times. You don't have to fully cook everything or fully cover everything, as long as you've got enough liquid in. You don't want it to be too soupy. Everything is already par cooked or almost cooked. So we're going to cook it down and let everything come together, and then we'll bring you guys back together at the table. And we may even have some bonus video at the end with SK2. So this one, the liquid is cooking down, so it won't be quite as saucy as the last version we did, but this is how Mrs. SG wants hers, so happy wife, happy life. And of course we'll serve it with rice. Alright family and friends, we are back at the kitchen table. I need to make my arms longer so I can get everybody in the shot with this different camera. But now we're at the table and we're eating our pork and chicken combination adobo.
I have pizza.
And SK2 has pizza. And again, this recipe was somewhat inspired after we did our adobo video. We saw one of our YouTube friends did a version with pork, but I think she used pork chops or pork loin. We did pork belly with ours, which is probably the #1 pork in the Philippines for adobo, would you say?
Yeah, next to pork chop maybe? I mean,
Pork chop is,
yeah.
oh, okay, so
But
they're
I
neck
guess-
and neck.
No, it just reminds me of things, so.
Okay, so we have our chicken and pork adobo. Mrs. SG has already tasted hers and loves it. And I will point out, she cooked this one. I was just a cameraman for this one. So this is probably 10 times as authentic as my version. So we're gonna try some of the chicken. Tastes like adobo.
The dry adobo.
And she reminded me, this is a dry adobo. It doesn't have the soup sauce to it like the version that I did. But the flavor is stronger in this one than the version that I did. So let me try a piece of the pork. And
Daddy, can I eat my beef?
yes, sir, you can eat. One thing about pork belly, for anybody who is not familiar with it, pork belly can have a lot of fat. And even though we seared ours in the pan before we added in our liquid and everything, there's still going to be a little bit of that fat quality to it. Where is she at? So you can either trim all that off and you'll be left with 30% of what you had to start with, or you can bite the bullet like most of us do and leave some of it in there. But the pork tastes very good too. I'm not a huge fat eater. I grew up eating a lot of fat back and bacon and pork crackling and real pork crackling. So it doesn't bother me. I try not to eat a ton of it, but pork belly, or liempo as we call it, is the exception to the rule. So everything is good. I've tasted the chicken, the pork. I'm gonna get a little bit of the potatoes.
Try the egg.
Potato is thumbs up. And I'm gonna try the egg. Everything absorbs the flavor of the soy sauce marinade, and it's just good. And rice is rice, so I'm not going to try the rice. I'm going to eat it, but I'm not going to try it for the video. So anything to add, sweetie?
I'm just happy.
So we're thankful to Keen Observer USA for inspiring us to try a slightly different version of what we did. Do you have anything constructive to add, SK1? Anything you think about the food versus the one I made the last time, or any of the other ones that Mama has cooked?
The last time it was more liquidy.
So you prefer the liquidy sauce or the dry adobo?
The liquidy.
My man! Okay. So you're not hurting anybody's feeling, because we can do it a different way, 1,000 different ways the next 1,000 times we do it, and it'll still be good. So SK2, are you trying to say something?
This is perfect on the
No. Okay.
I was playing Garden versus Zombies Garden.
He was playing Plants vs. Zombies before the video, but now we're eating adobo. So everything is good, and we are going to have a real short add-on after this one. A couple of people asked about watching SK2 do his pizza, so we're going to add on a few minutes of him building his pizza, which he is eating over there now, onto this video. And this is our, again, this is our last video before Christmas. We've got our tree over there in the corner. We got our wall of cards. So we're going to, again, we know not everybody celebrates the holiday, but we do. So we're going to say Merry Christmas to everybody. For those who don't, you know, best wishes to you and your family throughout this season as well. So, as always, God bless our great country, America. God bless you wherever you may reside around the world. Your
God
garden,
bless SK2.
your garden, your harvest, your kitchen, your meals, and especially your family, including SK2, to have health, success, and prosperity as we do.
And including Daddy.
Take care. Sapper out. And here is the final result, the Krusty Krab Pizza, made by SK2. You like your pizza, buddy?
Yes.
All right.
I ate the cheese off of it.
Okay, so he ate the cheese off the pizza before he ate the rest of it. Why did you do that?
Because the cheese was yummy.
Okay.